The transistor is one of the most common components found in the devices we use today. Without it, our society would be a very different place. So let's take a look at how the transistor came into being in the first place.
This is a diode, the typical two-element electronic tube. In fundamental operation, it resembles an ordinary single-pole switch. To this grid, we connect an input of some weak voltage which we wish to amplify, perhaps that of a faint radio signal from halfway around the world.
We will begin our journey with the vacuum tube. While experimenting with light bulbs, Thomas Edison discovered that electrons leaving the carbon filament are attracted to a metal plate. Based on Edison's discovery, the diode vacuum tube was invented in 1907. This invention led to the creation of the first amplifier, which became instrumental in the development of long-distance telephony, radio and television broadcasting, radar, and some of the earliest computers. Despite its feats, which led to new technological advancement, the vacuum tube is not without drawbacks. The device itself is bulky, power-hungry, and very volatile, traits that will become bottlenecks for AT&T, who was pushing to expand its telephone network. At Bell Laboratories, the then R&D branch for AT&T, a scientist named William Shockley decided he would take on the task to find a more flexible alternative to the vacuum tube. He would do this by studying the properties of semiconductors.
Operating on a new and different principle arising from basic research on solid substances and how the electrons inside them behave. How did it all come about?
In electronics, materials are usually divided into three groups. Conductors allow current to flow in both directions, whereas non-conductors do not allow any flow of current. And semiconductors allow current to flow in one direction, but not the other. At Bell Labs, William Shockley, along with Walter Bartain and John Bardeen, began experimenting on the semiconductor germanium. The goal: create a solid-state version to the vacuum tube, which will be small, low-powered, and versatile. On December 23, 1947, the first working transistor was demonstrated. It was called a point-contact transistor. The core of the apparatus consisted of a block of germanium and two gold foil contacts. If a current is placed on one of the gold foils, it will not immediately flow to the other gold foil until a small charge is placed on the block of germanium. The outcome of this experiment proved that semiconductors could be used to produce the same effects of the vacuum tube. Over time, the design of the transistor would change, but the component itself was here to stay. Soon this nifty little invention was replacing vacuum tubes across the electronic spectrum, giving way to not only smaller but more capable devices. A decade after its invention, the technology took another major step when multiple transistors were placed on a single piece of semiconductor, opening the door to the integrated circuit, the microchip, and the digital age. I hope you enjoyed this video on the transistor, and thanks for watching.